Okay, good afternoon, ma'am, miss, and friends. Thank you so much for the opportunity that has been given for our group 6, to presentate our research about a pragmatic analysis of presuppositions and conversational implicator in Taylor Swift Folklore Love Triangle Trilogy. Before we start, I would like you guys to, I would introduce myself and my group. So my name is Jesica and Larat.
I'm Nazlia Mukadar.
I'm Eklesia I Souisa.
And the last, my name is Ariel D Maelissa.
Okay, so before we get started, I want you guys to take a look at the contents. So we're gonna break down through this research for take a little deeper analysis on what we are doing on our analysis. So yeah, this is all the contents that we're gonna talk about. So we're going to start off with introduction and also background of this study that we are doing. The background of this study centers on how language in literary works, particularly in narrative songwriting, frequently conveys profound meanings that transcend literal text. Traditional linguistic approach that focus solely on grammatical structure or dictionary meanings often fail to capture the depth of the message intent by the songwriter. Therefore, this study employs a pragmatic approach to analyze how situational context and shared assumption construct a richer meaning. The chosen object of this research is the song Trilogy from Taylor Swift Folklore album. It is comparing Cardigan, Betty, and August. These 3 songs form a cohesive fictional narrative about a teenage love triangle, which is uniquely told from 3 distinct character perspectives with highly complex emotional layers. The characters in these songs do not explicitly state their backstory. Instead, they conceal their trauma, defensive mechanism, and despair behind casual conversational phrases. So, as what I already said before, there's songs that Taylor made, and these 3 songs was actually represent the 3 fictional character that she built. The name is James. It is a man, and then 2 girls named Betty and Augustine. So as you can see in this song, Cardigan is actually from Betty perspective, and then Betty is from James perspective, and August is actually from Augustine perspective. So the love triangle that happened between them is because James was actually having a relationship with Betty, but when he goes to have a summer vacation, he accidentally fell in love with a beautiful girl named Augustine. And this is where everything gets started, and how Taylor make all of the drama between the song, and how we can see they're actually like kind of speaking to each other through the song. So I guess that's all for the background and introduction, so you guys are not pretty lost on this research. Next, we're going to talk about the research question. They're gonna be explained by my friends, Eklesia. Eklesia, please.
Okay, thank you, thank you, Jessica. Okay, so now I will explain about the research question that we already write it. So first, what types of presuppositions are embedded in the lyrics of Cardigan, Betty, and August to establish the characters' share past? And the second, what conversational implicators are generated when these characters describe the same romantic conflict from different perspectives? Okay, next, we're gonna move to the methodology. Okay, so for the research design, so This study used a qualitative case study approach to explore presupposition and conversational implicature in Taylor Swift's Folklore Love Triangle Trilogy. So, wait, I will explain it. Okay, so the three songs analyzed were Cardigan, Betty, and August. And these songs were treated as a one connected story because each song present a different character's perspectives. And to analyze the data, the researchers is us. We use two theories. The first is Yule's theory of presupposition, and the second one is Greer's theory of conversational implicature. So uh, so these theories help us identify hidden assumptions and implied meanings in the lyrics. And the second, we're gonna talk about data collection. So the data that we're collected is from lyric excerpts of the three songs. The lyrics were taken from Spotify because it provides officially licensed lyrics, so making the data more reliable and consistent. And this means that the researchers intentionally chose these songs because they tell the same story from three different perspectives, yaitu Betty perspective in Cardigan, James perspectives in Betty, and of course, Augustine's perspective in August's song. That's for the methodology.
Okay, next we're going and moving to the findings that we got. In here, you guys can see there is two tables. First is the presuppositions and interpretation table, and the next is floated maxim and conversational implicatures. So we're gonna talk through the first table first. So there is three tracks that I put, the lyrics data and also the presupposition. First, we're gonna talk about the track Cardigan. The lyric data that we choose in here is chase two girls, lose the one. The presuppositions is the main conflict of the love triangles and shows that James' action lead to the loss of someone that important. Either it is Betty or it is Augustine. The second track is Betty. The lyric data that we choose is you heard the rumor from Ines. You can believe a word she said most of the time. But this time, it was true. The presupposition is the rumor regarding James' infidelity is an absolute truth. Or we can say James' cheatings is actually true. Okay. The third track is August. It is a very popular songs, and the lyric data that we choose in here is remember when I pulled up and said get in the car. The presupposition, this lyric contains a presupposition because the word remember assumes that the event really happened in the past. And then next is a table 2. We can see in here. It is the floated maxims and conversationals implicator. The first track is that we're going to talk about is Cardigan. The lyric data that we choose is living like a father, running like water. The floated maxim is manner. The implicator, Betty, implies that James' action left her feeling abandoned and emotionally neglected, comparing him to an absent father and something impossible to hold on to. The second track is Betty. The lyric data that we choose in here is, would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? This is what James trying to say to Betty, try to convince her to gain her forgiveness and apology back. The floated maxim is quantity or quality. It is understatement. The implicator, James is intentionally downplaying his cheating as an like insignificant and temporary mistake to reduce his personal accountability and plead for Betty unearned forgiveness. And for the third track is August. The lyric data that we choose in here is August slipped away into a moment in time. It is the floater maxim is quality or metaphor. The implicator is Augustine implies that her relationship with James was temporary and quickly disappeared, leaving only memories behind. Okay, that's for the finding. For the deeper analysis and the result gonna be explained by my friends Nazlia. Nazlia, please.
Okay, guys, we move to the result and discussion of the findings. So, based on tables 1 and 2, the findings reveal that presupposition and conversational implicator play significant role in in constructing the narrative of the Taylor Swift folklore love triangle trilogy. The analysis identified two types of presupposition, that is existential presupposition and factive presupposition. In Cardigan, the lyric "Chase two girls, lose the one" contains an existential presupposition because it assumes that the existence of Betty and Augustine in James' romantic life. This presupposition introduced the central conflict of the love triangle. Meanwhile, the lyrics "This time it was true" in Betty and remember when I pull up and said "get in the car" in August contain factive presupposition that present a past event and experience as factual. This presupposition establishes the shared history among Betty, James, Augustine, and provide important background information for the narrative. The analysis also found conversational implicator that reflect different perspective on the same romantic conflict. In Cardigan, Betty implies feelings of abandonment and betrayal through the lyric "living like a father, running like water." In Betty, James attempts to minimize the seriousness of his action by describing the affair as just a summer thing. Meanwhile, in Augustine implies existence of loss through the lyric "August slipped away into a moment in time," suggesting that the relationship was temporary and ultimately ended. Overall, berdasarkan hasil analisisnya itu menunjukkan bahwa lirik-lirik yang dipilih tuh mengandung dua preposisi eksistensial dan juga preposisi efektif yang membangun sejarah bersama antara Betty, James, dan juga Augustine. Selain itu, analisis juga menemukan implikatur percakapan yang mencerminkan berbagai perspektif terhadap konflik romantis yang sama, yaitu perasaan ditinggalkan dan dihianati, upaya membenarkan atau meminimalkan kesalahan, serta penerimaan terhadap kehilangan. Nah, temuan-temuan tersebut menunjukkan bahwa preposisi berfungsi memberikan latar belakang naratif dan pengalaman bersama antar tokoh, sedangkan implikatur percakapan mengungkapkan emosi, niat, dan sudut pandang para tokoh secara tidak langsung. Dengan demikian, kedua fitur pragmatik tersebut berkontribusi dalam membangun narasi dalam dalam album Folklore Love Triangle Trilogy dan membantu pendengar memahami cerita dari berbagai perspektif. I think that's all for the result and discussion of the findings. We will move to the next that is presented by my friends. Ariel, please.
Oke, di penghujung pembahasan kita kali ini, so we move to the conclusion. Overall, the study found that Presupposition and conversational implicature work together to shape the narrative of the trilogy. Presupposition help establish what the character already know or assume, while conversational implicature allow listener to understand the emotion and meaning that remain unstated. These pragmatic features make the story more engaging and encourage listener to interpret the events from different point of view. So, secara sederhananya, presupposition membantu pendengar memahami konteks dan latar cerita. Sedangkan conversational implicature itu membantu mengungkapkan perasaan dan makna yang tidak disampaikan secara langsung. Melalui kedua unsur ini, Taylor Swift itu berhasil membangun sebuah cerita love triangle yang utuh dari sudut pandang Betty, James, dan Agustin. Sehingga pendengar dapat menangkap makna yang tersembunyi di balik lirik lagu ini. Oke, next. So, for the recommendation, song lyrics can be used as valuable data for pragmatic studies because they contain many examples of implied meaning and indirect communication. Future research may explore other pragmatic aspects such as speech as the deixis, politeness strategies, or relevance theory to gain a broader understanding of meaning in song lyrics. So researchers are encouraged to analyze a largest collection of songs or compare different artists and genres to identify similarities and difference in the use of pragmatic feature. The finding of this study can also be applied in the language learning, particularly in pragmatics and discourse analysis courses. A song lyric provide authentic and engaging examples of language use. So, based on this penelitian ini, lirik lagu dapat menjadi sumber data yang baik untuk penelitian pragmatik, because mengandung semuanya itu liriknya itu mengandung banyak makna tersirat. So, penelitian selanjutnya dapat mengkaji aspek pragmatik lainnya atau membandingkan lagu dari berbagai penyanyi dan genre. Selain itu, hasil penelitian ini juga dapat diterapkan dalam pembelajaran pragmatik karena lirik lagu ini memberikan contoh penggunaan bahasa yang nyata, menarik, dan mudah untuk dipahami. So, that's it.
Okay, I guess that's all from our group. Now we are finished with also the conclusion, recommendation, and everything. So we hope this research can also give you a valuable information and knowledge about how implicatures and also presupposition is works, and also you have a little bit knowledge about Taylor songs. So yeah, I guess that's all from our group. We, Group 6, want to say thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.